Hi, my name is Erica Weaver, and my critical issue is, should early childhood teachers be required to have a minimum of a bachelor's degree? My perspective on the issue is yes, and my partner Shannon Falcon, her perspective on the issue is no. The three aspects of my critical issue are the history, the current situation, and the future trajectory. As far as the history of early childhood teachers, they were not required to have a minimum of a bachelor's degree, and the education requirement was limited to the knowledge that the parents or the educators at the time possessed themselves. Currently, early childhood educators have an associate's degree or accredited training that are the equivalent of the associate's degree or CDA certifications. As far as the future trajectory of early childhood teachers, I do believe that a bachelor's degree will be a minimum requirement. My partner had some questions for her debate, and I will respond to her questions. She said, in what ways over the years has your opinion changed about having a bachelor's degree in early childhood education? I would have to say that I do think that a bachelor's degree should be required for early childhood education because some programs do require it, and I think that a higher standard for one should mean a higher standard for all early childhood education programs. The next question was, in what ways is earning a bachelor's degree in early childhood education help you further your knowledge about early child development? I think that taking the extra 2 years to earn the bachelor's degree gives you that 2 extra years to expand your knowledge within the field of child development and growth and learning. The next question was, is the future of early childhood educators going to come down to all of them needing a bachelor's degree to stay in the field? I do believe that it's going to come down to all early childhood educators being required to have a minimum of a bachelor's degree to enhance the field of early childhood education. If this was happening to you at your job, what would you do if it became mandated to have a bachelor's degree? If this was my job and this was something that I was passionate about and was going to continue a career in, I would do what was necessary to keep my job. As far as having a bachelor's degree be a requirement for early childhood education, if it wasn't prior and I needed it to maintain my job, it's something that I would work towards gaining to enhance my ability to perform well in and keep my job as an early childhood educator. My perspective on this critical issue is yes, I do believe that early childhood educators should be required to have a minimum of a bachelor's degree. So, in response to my questions, how important do I think it is to have highly qualified early childhood educators? I think it's very important to have highly qualified early childhood educators. By highly qualified, I mean have all their training, have taken the necessary classes, have the field experience, have had the chance to work with children prior to jumping into a field that they may or may not be familiar with. What advantages do I think obtaining a bachelor's degree have over early childhood educators that don't have a bachelor's degree? I think that extra classroom experience, that extra 2 years to learn new teaching techniques and grow as an educator, to develop new ways of communicating with and understanding the development of students. That extra 2 years, I think, gives you the edge over someone who has only attained their associate's degree. The extra 2 years gives you a leg up, so to speak. Not necessarily from an experience standpoint, but just from having the opportunity to expand your learning and knowledge in that field. What would requiring that childhood educators have a minimum of a bachelor's degree say about growth within early childhood programs? I think that requiring early childhood teachers to have a minimum of a bachelor's degree in early childhood programs shows great strides in the strive for excellence within early childhood programs. I think it shows that they're setting high standards and really working towards making improvements and achieving success within early childhood education. As far as identifying why my opponent's viewpoint is flawed, I would have to say that her points that she's bringing up, while valid, are not necessarily what I agree with. She brings up money as an issue for why teachers and educators may not be able to further themselves by reaching forward and obtaining a bachelor's degree, because money may be an obstacle for them. Financial aid may not be an option, and loans may be expensive. With obtaining any degree in college, money is always an object, a possible obstacle, but obstacles can be overcome. Money for school is available by way of grants, scholarships, loans, and also there are loan repayment programs available to help aid teachers that are working towards degrees in education. There's programs available that forgive loans for teachers working towards education bachelor's degrees. So where there's a will, there's a way. If it's something that you really want to work for, you'll find a way to make it work. Not just necessarily in education, but with any job or career field that you go into, obtaining a bachelor's degree may be necessary, and to excel in that job or career field, you do what's necessary to reach your goals to get to where you need to be in life. Another point that she brought up was about having a choice. Mandating that teachers be required to have an early childhood education degree is not about taking away choice. It's about improving the field of early childhood education. It's about making it better for our children. You do have a choice. The choice is yours if it did become mandatory that early childhood educators be required to have a minimum of a bachelor's degree. You could choose to obtain the bachelor's degree or choose to pick another career field. I would summarize my critical issue perspective by saying that I do, yes, agree that early childhood educators should be required to have a minimum of a bachelor's degree. According to the NAEYC Critical Facts, 30% of teachers have a minimum of a bachelor's degree or higher right now in public schools grades K through 12. 47.4% of regular full-time teachers in public schools have a bachelor's degree as their highest degree. 43% of regular full-time teachers in public schools have a master's degree as their highest degree. So currently, if 30% of early childhood teachers already have a bachelor's degree without it being mandated, what's to say that if it was mandated, the rest of them wouldn't obtain their bachelor's degree if it's what they need to stay in their career? If 47.4% of teachers have their bachelor's degree as their highest degree and it's required, and the other 43.1% have a master's degree that isn't required, what does that say about the public school system? A master's degree is not required, but yet and still people have gone above and beyond another 2 years to excel in their field and reach a higher goal to set a higher standard. Overall, I would have to say that the importance of obtaining a bachelor's degree for working in early childhood education is to stay at the top of your game within your career field. It's important to be the best educator that you can be. And if that means obtaining a bachelor's degree to do so, then myself as a future educator, that's what I'll do. The choice is yours. Do you agree or disagree? Yes or no? Should early childhood educators be required to obtain a minimum of a bachelor's degree? I say yes. Thank you.